Oh, hey, kindergarten. This is Music with Joe. I'm going to read another opera story. So we read Opera Cat last time. This time we have Encore Opera Cat. I hope you enjoy. Encore Opera Cat. Alma and Madame Susu lived in Italy, where each of them sang opera. Madame Susu sang in front of large audiences. Alma sang in Madame Susu's apartment. They were both happy with this arrangement, or so it seemed. Secretly, Alma dreamed of singing on stage. Every cat nap, every summer slumber, every winter's dream was always the same. Alma in the spotlight, thrilling people with her voice. But what would Maestro say if he knew her secret? Would people laugh if she went on stage? Could a small cat sing about love? Each day Alma practiced, her voice grew stronger and brighter. One morning she sang a very high note. La! Her voice filled the apartment with a shimmering silver tone that shattered Madame Susu's water glass. Alma, said Madame Susu, your voice is too big for this tiny apartment. We can't hide your talent any longer. Let's tell Maestro your secret. Alma sighed so musically, it sounded as if she was singing, yes. Later that day, Madame Susu tried to tell Maestro the exciting news. I've discovered a new singer, she announced. There's no time for talk, answered Maestro. We've got a concert in Switzerland in 1 week. But, began Madame Susu. Later, cara, said Maestro. The next day, Madame Susu tried again. Maestro was too busy to listen, and too distracted to pay attention. The following day, Madame Susu suggested a duet. Impossible, Maestro answered. You can't sing with someone else. Only your voice stirs my soul. Maestro, pleaded Madame Susu, please listen to this singer. She tried to coax Alma to the center of the room, but Alma knew Maestro didn't want to hear her. She slipped behind the door. Maestro shook his head. Sometimes I worry about you, Kaha, he said, checking to see if she had a fever. A little singing will make you feel better, yes? That night, Alma and Madame Susu hatched a plan to surprise Maestro and the whole world with a duet at the concert in Switzerland. Alma agreed only when Madame Susu let her choose a mask, a wig, and a costume. Alma liked the idea of dressing up. No one would guess she was a cat unless she took off her mask. Soon it was time to go to Switzerland for the big performance. The day of the trip, Alma and Madame Susu arrived at the train station with their luggage. When they tried to board the train, the conductor pointed to a sign that read, "No pets allowed." Before Madame Susu could hide her friend, Alma was pulled away. No! Shrieked Madame Susu. Alma is practically human! Yeah, that's what they all say, answered the conductor. But, whimpered Madame Susu, she's special! She can ride in the back, said the conductor. Sing, Alma! Shouted Madame Susu. But it was too late. Alma was gone. Your little cat will be fine, said Maestro. It's you I'm worried about. As Maestro helped Madame Susu onto the train, Alma settled onto a lumpy mail bag. It was a long, cold ride. At the station, Madame Susu had to wait in a long line to collect Alma. When they finally arrived at the opera house, everyone was in an uproar. Where have you been? The director cried. Hurry, said the stage manager. Madame Susu rushed into her dressing room. She began to warm up her voice. La 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 la. As she applied her makeup, she saw that Alma was trembling. Don't be afraid, she whispered. You'll be wonderful. But Alma wasn't trembling in fear. She was shaking with excitement. Madame Susu helped Alma into her gown and tucked her pointed ears under her wig. Once Alma held a mask over her face, she was ready. A knock came at the door. 2 minutes. Madame Susu glued on her eyelashes and headed for the stage. Alma stepped into the shadows to listen for her cue. While she was waiting in the wings, she heard a stagehand say, "Hey, who's that?" "Who?" Alma looked around. "Is that what I think it is?" asked another. Alma looked up just as someone tried to grab her. She dashed behind some heavy ropes and hid in a small room. Her heart was racing. They knew she was a cat, but how? She looked at herself in a dusty mirror. Her wig was on straight, her gown was stunning, but she could see it now. Her whiskers were showing. Her paws didn't look like hands, and her tail was hard to hide. Alma's disguise didn't work. Madame Susu's voice echoed throughout the concert hall, reminding Alma to come on stage. "Alma mia!" she sang. Alma hesitated. Would anyone listen to a cat sing about love? "Alma mia!" sang Madame Susu once again. Sadly, Alma took off her mask. No matter what she wore, she'd always be a cat. She walked through the long, dark hallway and stepped into the light. If she wanted to be a singer, she couldn't hide it any longer. She looked at the astonished crowd, took a deep breath, and bravely began to sing. "Doso restoro." The musicians stopped with a loud drum beat. Alma kept singing. People stood up, pointed, giggled. Alma kept singing. Maestro's mouth popped open. He swayed forward and backward. He dropped his baton. Alma kept singing beautifully. Then Madame Susu joined Alma's song. Soon, their voices blended so sweetly, the heavenly tones soared through the opera house, making the audience gasp and the chandeliers ring. Ooh, sighed the crowd. Ah, they breathed. When Alma and Madame Susu finished their duet, Maestro wiped his hot face with a handkerchief. "Encore! Encore!" yelled the crowd. Alma and Madame Susu opened their arms in a wide embrace. After the concert, Maestro appeared in Madame Susu's dressing room. He stammered. You. He gazed deeply into Madame Susu's eyes. "I've never heard anyone sing about love with such passion. Why didn't you tell me?" he asked. "You wouldn't listen," Madame Susu answered softly. Maestro sighed and kissed Alma's paw. Then he held Madame Susu's hand. "Cara," he said, "I'm listening now. Tell me all about it." So they told him everything. Maestro was so enchanted, he put their story to music. Opera has never been the same.